Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk, the cellar door opened, and a cold blast of air rushed in, making all three of us suffocate. It was pitch black below, deep and dark. And from there came a rustling sound, like hundreds of fingernails scratching at the bricks and stones. We hesitated, but then we had to go down because the house above seemed to be squeezing us, forcing us to follow this only path. My steps were heavy, my heart was pounding, and each drop of cold sweat fell, mixing with the dripping sound that echoed in the darkness. When we reached the bottom of the stairs, a damp room appeared, the walls covered with green moss, the ceiling dripping continuously, creating a sound like the sound of falling rain. But it was not just water. Each drop that fell reeked of blood, sticking to our skin. The dripping sound rang out regularly, interspersed with strange whispers. At first it was vague, then it gradually became clear as disjointed sentences, like the voice of someone reciting a prayer for the dead. We hugged each other tightly, looking around the dark room, the small candle in our hands shaking not enough to illuminate the whole room. A whisper suddenly sounded right next to our ears, calling each person's name. I turned around in panic, but saw no one but my two friends. The dark shadow moved vaguely along the wall, like something crawling right inside the stone. Then suddenly, the whole cellar shook. The ground cracked into a gap. From under that gap came a terrible stench, accompanied by hot, humid breath blowing in my face. I heard a cackle, a childish laugh, but prolonged, distorted like broken metal. One of us couldn't stand it anymore, screamed loudly and rushed up the stairs. But after a few seconds, the scream stopped, leaving a heavy silence. The other person and I stood there, stunned. Now there were only two of us. The book upstairs was gone, but the whispers from the pages still seemed to echo in the cellar. I felt that this place was not a warehouse, but the heart of the ritual, where the boundary between life and death had been opened wide. The drops of blood rained down steadily. The hypnotic sound seemed to urge us to step deeper into the darkness. I trembled, writing more in this diary, hoping to keep the last bit of clarity, because I knew, beyond that darkness, there were more terrible things waiting. Stay tuned for episode 5 of Camping.